what we are going to do is something that is happening at this very moment because the overwhelming amount of the information and the information kind of telling you that this is truth because it's anything like you have seen how thoughts bring similar thought patterns from the trauma, and it created something that when someone starts talking about their trauma, you feel that it's real in your life, and your body can be totally get pulled into the mind. So what's happening is this split second of a drift in that space, and it's very unnoticeable moment when the mind loses its anchor from the present and it begins to rehearsing possibilities. Um, this has a clinical term, but we are not going to go onto those terms. This drift actually shift you from the sensory processing to narrative projections. So what becomes the dangerous is not the thought itself, but the speed at which the mind starts treating its own stories as as their evidence. And this is where the early intervention matters, like noticing the drift before it becomes a direction. So we all go through that. We all go through that grief. We all go through in this drift in fear. We go all through this drift with breakups, uh, financial insecurities. But mind will always have an excuse to drift. But what you have to understand is a split second of a drift that it moves away from the present moment. And this is the loop that pretends to be the truth. And the body is the first reliable witness because you could see the body becomes not in the present. And so we will re-entry into that immediate scene and work it out this very gently through our practice today. So saying that, find a space to sit and take a deep breath in and elevate that space of the heart, shoulders relaxed and chest open. And I'll move the camera towards Darren that if you need to work on the postures. So very gently, what we are going to do is very, very gently allow the shoulders roll back, opening up the chest, elevating the space of the heart. And very gently take a deep breath in, and very gently we are twisting the spine to the right side from that space, and allowing that space to feel that breath. So now you could see the movement is embodiment and deep healing immersions is happening. Now take a deep breath in and we come back to the center, shoulders relaxed and chest open. Change the leg formation and twisting the spine to the left side on the out breath. So this now you could see the mind is coming into the present moment because you're observing the breath. You're observing even the micro drift when the mind loosens its anchor. And you're grounding with a slow movement. Now take a deep breath in, come back into the center. Drop the shoulders up, tilt the head back, and hold it for a few seconds. Breath out and collapse the spine and release. Even a sigh from the mouth. Take a deep breath in, drop the shoulders up, tilt the head back, open and close the mouth for a while, and breathe out, reset. So allow this psychosomatic reflection to bring us back into the sensory evidence. Now take a deep breath in and breathe out, collapse the spine, chin to the chest, roll the spine. What you're doing is now you're breaking the authority of the thought and coming back to the body, breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. Push the belly into the front, shoulders roll back, breathe out, collapse the spine. Now to a neutral spine, and you understand the loop that pretends to be truth, the nervous system is stakes and imaginations for events. So this flow nervous system is unhooking, and we are coming into that somatic mapping that interrupt the cognitive loops. So now take a deep breath in, allow the heart to be lifted up, and bring that left leg into the back. Keep that right hip open, shoulders relaxed, and the chest open. Now what's happening is now the presence is outweighing the prediction. So this restorative poses that we are working on this, it reorientation the protocol, and it comes to the real sensation, allow safe to re-enter. Now you're safe. Now you're on your vehicle. I'll take a deep breath in, drop the elbows, walk those palms, walk those elbows, releasing the tension, and just observe the body very gently. So now you have slowed down the overthinking speed, and you're allowing the muscles to relax instead of tightening. Breath is not collapsing on you. Breath is now is the feeder of this thing. So observe the attention. And now we interrupt this loop through the movement and the sensory orientation, that you're not tightening the muscle, your breath is not collapsing, your attention is not narrowing and agitation. Now, when you come into that place, take a deep breath in and very gently coming back, shoulders relaxed, allow the chest to be open, allow the back of the spine where you're holding the kidneys, scapulas, just microwave, gentle micro sways happening in the movement, also with the breathing. And now we are coming into a gentle plank. With the postures, with the movement, I would like you to keep that present moment by extending the transition. Breathe, head to the toe is the spine, drop the knees and stretch the spine back. Slowly what you're doing is your nervous system is unhooking. Focus on the exhales as a release. Observe recurring thoughts, loop, and locate its physical imprint. So most of you, if you're still on the head, observe the body where you are having the physical imprint of that recurring thought. Some of them are in the belly, some of them are in the chest, some of them are in the legs, some are there in pain. Now take a deep breath in and crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Drop the belly and breathing into up face. We are not doing a bhujangasana, we are just floating up. Breathe out towards the down face. Breathing in, and we are bringing the left foot back into the pigeon pose. Shoulders roll back, opening up that chest, elevating the space of the heart, very gently lifting up, creating space for the rib cage, lungs, creating a safe place for the heart, throat, of the elbows on the out breath, and walk those palms. And release the tension. Open and close those fingers. If the mind loops still, let the movement break that rhythm. Don't argue with the thought. Interrupt the loop through your sensation. So a lot of people asking how I am believing in this thought, how can I break it out? Interrupt the loop through the sensations. If the sensations are overwhelming and you're coming back to the overwhelm, that overwhelm stops, the thought disappears because thought is actually the one that creates it. Um, you got it? Now, don't open up the body too far that where it's going to be drowning for you. So work with still, if the mind has taken a lot and the body is still on the place of holding, it's okay. Now take a deep breath in and come back into a plank. Drop the knees and stretch the spine, knees wide apart. Now, this is a moment that you have to understand the mind is very good at fabricating stories, but the body cannot fabricate stories. Sensation is the immediate truth. So we are through this practice guiding you back into your most reliable witness. Okay, this is how it is. Rolling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in into the up face, breathe out towards the down face. Now very gently walk those, bend the knees, keep the feet pointing at each other slightly and see whether you are rolling into the toe, rolling into the side of the foot, back of the heel, and very gently walk those palms towards the feet. Keep your head down, neck down, and very gently um, holding on to the opposite elbows. Take a deep breath, breath out very gently. Observe how you're holding the back, how you're holding the jaw, how you're holding the spine, how you're holding the belly. Now, this chest to the navel is a one triangle. Hip to the hip, the other hip, and to the navel is another triangle. So it's a like a like one of those sand clocks, but it's a triangle. So what you're doing is you're getting and pulling the belly in, but also observing the space of those triangles upside down, or moving from the head of the triangle to the other triangle. Now take a deep breath in, holding onto the back of the neck, and try to give a little touch to the C1 and C2 to release any tension on the back of the neck. And then the back of the shoulders if you can. And very gently bending the knees, and very gently waking up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Now, most of the trauma held on regions are chest, through the pressure narratives, belly, unpredictable future of the fear, throat, unsaid truth, jaw, suppressed actions, hips, stored survival reflexes. So I want you to gently observe these things. Now, very gently take a deep breath in, coming back up, standing posture, arms raised onto the ground, lifting up onto the toes. And remember those two triangles, hold them, otherwise you will lose the balance. Breath out and relax onto the hips, move the arms side to side, very gently. Now, to release these traumas, very gently do a somatic shaking, or you can just gently humming into the chest cavity. Shoulders relax, chest open. Now take a deep breath in. And very gently rolling back, bending the knees onto the floor, one vertebra at a time. Listening to the body. Let the sensation speak the truth. Observe that unburdening and release the health and the weight without force, and you're coming back into the lightness where the sensation becomes larger than a thought. Now palms onto the floor, take a deep breath in, look up. Let's leg into the back. If you're on the back of the mat, coming to the front. Now very gently into a plank. Drop the knees, stretch the spine, rolling and bringing the chest into the front. Now this time we are going to do a gentle cobra, elbows onto the floor, palms facing up, gently opening up into the cobra. Now leaving the surface thinking, enter into that deep terrain of the body. Okay, I'll give you a cue here. Let the body be heavier than your thoughts. Extend your exhales to widen the safety. Scan is not to fix, but to hear. You're listening to the body, but not interrupting it, not bringing a thought back to say what body is going through. Right? If you want to go to a micro movement, that's fine. But overlooking to the right side is good. Keep that spine open. Back to the center, overlooking onto the left side. Back into the center and relax the third eye onto the floor. Now roll the third eye while it's on your palms, or that's fine, on the floor. Just activating that space. Release that stored survival tension. Observe your pelvic floor is softening. Allow the body to return what is no longer needs to hold. Now breathing in into a up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Left leg up into the back. Left knee to the left chest. Stretch back. Left knee to the left elbow. Stretch back. Left knee to the right elbow. Stretch back. Left foot into the front. Right leg up. Right foot into the front. Arms stretch into the back. Arms brace onto the ground, sitting on the fierce pose. So bend your knees right into a chair like a sitting. Arms connecting, breathing very gently. Breath in and coming back into a straight pose, like a standing pose, palms onto the namaskar position. Now return to the peaceful point within the body. Reorient into the present time reality with softness and clarity. You're going to have to take time. Now breathing in, reaching up. Breath out, spread the wings and touch the floor. Breathing in, right leg up and into the back, a big look up into a plank. Strong on the pelvic floor. Drop the knees and stretch the spine. Relax. So reorientation protocol here is, where am I? Where am I now? What is happening right now? What sensations proves I am here? So this is for a lot of people who go into that space of the thought, through the stress, through the work. Ask when it happens next time, where am I? What is happening right now? What sensation proves that I'm here? Let the practice become the anchor. Let the vision soften, but stay awake, okay? Even if you're taking a medication, stay awake. Rolling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in and very gently elevating back into the up face. You guys are doing well. Breathe out into a down face. Right leg up into the back, right knee to the right chest. Stretch back, right knee to the right elbow. Stretch back, right knee to the left elbow. Stretch back, right foot into the front. Left leg up, left leg into the front. Arms stretch onto the side. Arms raised onto the crown, sitting deeper. Gently coming back. Gentle arch from the back, not tightening. Arms onto the pranam position. Feet grounding on the floor. Now I want you to identify one honest sensation, not emotion, as your lighthouse of presence. One sensation, not emotion, not a story, as your lighthouse of the presence. When your sensations become stronger than predictions, you return to the real. When the sensations become stronger than fixing, you return to the real. Now, very gently, shake the arms, release the tension. If you're ready, then very gently shake the leg, take the arm. Even if you want to jump up and down a few times, that's also fine. And come into a seated posture. And take a deep breath in. Bring the left knee onto the chest. Left foot onto the right side. Take a deep breath in. Shoulders open. Lift up the space of the heart. Left arm reaching up and into the back where it is comfortable. Keep the shoulders spread away from the ears. Right arm reaching up. Right elbow sit. Take a mudra. Flex the foot. Observe. Observe. Anchor into the present. There is no drifting from. What becomes dangerous is not the thought itself, but the speed at which the mind starts treating its own stories as if they are evidence. It will support any clue to support its story. This is where it is important that you come early into the practice and noticing the drift before it becomes a direction for you to take and do something about it. onto the speed of the mind, but you're bringing it back. Now, if you didn't have the practice, what happens is believing your thoughts, the loop gains authority. Nervous system misreading imagination as an event, and it prepares the body accordingly. Muscle tighten, breath changes, attention narrows. This is not spiritual overthinking. It is actual neurobiological confusion between the prediction and reality. The most holistic response is not to argue with the thought, but to interrupt the loop. Any attempt to think better thoughts only strengthen the cycle. The interruption must come from sensation, not logic. Got it? Now come back. Relax. Take a moment. Take a moment. That was a lot that we went through, the loop that pretends to be truth. Now release the leg. You're releasing it. You're coming back into the sensation of the body. Now, would you like to do with your own time in the other side? I'm bringing the right knee onto the left side. Get that whole cycle of right arm reaching into the back in a fuller circle, because it opens up the body and the rib cage. And it's very important when the thoughts are tight, it actually put pressure on the liver, pancreas, and the spleen. Now, take a mudra to represent this learning. Now, the body lives in real time. It cannot be fabricated, as I mentioned. A story the way the mind can. So, when you're returning to your attention to a single point of contact, just the weight of the feet on the floor, the temperature around the chest, observe the movement of the breath. You're shifting from imagining threat to live experience. This is the advanced psychiatry meeting grounded somatic practices, replacing that cognitive rumination with the sensory evidence. It's not escapism, it is recalibration. The body becomes the first reliable witness that says, this moment is safe. Well done. Come back very gently. Shoulders relax, chest open, elevate the space of the heart. Stretch the leg, give a good shake to the body, release the tension. Now you get your feet mat width apart, bend the knees slightly, pull the bum muscle out, arms raising onto the crown, and you're rolling the hips backward and front. Backward and front, like this, like this, rolling back, rolling up. Lift it up, rolling back from the tailbone. From the tailbone, as that's how you're breathing in. So you're getting these hips that has been tightened and holding back cognitive parts to release very gently. But that's how it's doing is correct. Breathing in, rolling back. But I'll come back with rolling back. And there will be a time you just, your hips is so relaxed, you want to roll forward totally. This is not pulling the back. This is rolling from the front and moving into the front. Just like that. Now, most of you will drop the feet slightly open and let it be. If you want to get the feet together and bring the heels closer, then bring it together. If you want to have a gentle stretch and breathe there, just be there. Now, very gently coming back, you bring the sole of the feet together, close to the heels, or to the groin. And now you're going to keep the palms in the back dada like this. And very just lifting up the bum, going back and coming and landing close to the feet. So breathing in, you go back, breath out, you're coming back and creating that space, drawing to heel with safety. Breathing in, breathing out, and then very gently relax now. That's how we'll drop the elbows into the back. You will see it opening up the chest and the throat, elevating the chest, not totally tilting the head back as collapse, but you're breathing into the chest and keeping now. There's a bolster. You can keep the bolster and be there. As he has done, palms facing up. So what you're doing is you're very gently giving the body to become the reliable witness that says this moment is safe, this posture is safe, I am safe, I'm more present into the sensation rather than the thought. Now, very gently, you can take that bolster out and very gently collapse the spine totally onto the floor. Keep the weight on that. Yeah. So a lot of people have their belts to put it around to open up the hips. If you're one of those things, that's fine. I like to put the weight of my hands over the inner thighs and very gently give a little support for my hips to open without forcing too much. Um, so find that whatever is working for you. Now, very gently take a deep breath in and bring the feet together on the floor and coming into the space of a bridge. So what you're doing is palm facing down under the hips. You're tucking the tailbone under, keep the feet hip apart, and very gently feeling off that spine, but you're becoming more aware of the sensation of the lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and the cervical spine. And you're taking a deep breath while you're on the totally on the bridge. You're contracting the glutes, not the hamstrings. And you're very gently spacing out to drop the spine from the cervical end to the lumbar end. So the lumbar is the last bit that you're releasing with the hip tilt. Maybe with your time and with your consciousness, allow 3 or 4 times to this to happen. Now very gently coming down, left knee on top of the right knee, and very gently dropping onto the left side, overlooking onto the opposite direction. So you're using the leg on top, very gently to drop and bring the weight, and you're very gently keeping bolsters or something to support you. If your shoulder blades are not loosening to touch the floor, that's fine. So hold on to a blanket and very gently you're turning the head onto the opposite direction from your knees. So observe, where am I? What is actually happening? When the sensation becomes stronger than the imagination, you will re-enter into the immediate scene. The mind stops performing and the body remembers it's here. Take a deep breath in and coming back very gently, shoulders relax. Remember, your head has turned, your knees have dropped, and what's happening now? Now let's do the other side. Take a deep breath in and breath out. Let the body be heavier than your thoughts. Extend your exhales, widen. Scanning, not to fix, but to hear. I'm listening to the body, not interrupting it. Micro movements awakens deeper layers. So first section was the descent, then the second was listening to the body. Third is the unburdening, gently coming back and releasing the stored survival tension. Allow the body to return what is no longer need to hold. Hold that story, hold that upright, hold that and free. Now very gently bringing both knees to the chest and give a good knee rotation and a hip rotation. And feel that the body is peacefully coming back into the sensations and they become larger than the thoughts. And we are reorienting into the present time reality with the softness of the clarity. Now, what you have done is you have stopped the mind performing. Mind is very good when it's rested. There's nothing wrong with the performing, but it needs rest. Now take a deep breath in, rock the spine into the front and into the back. Shoulders relax and just open. And very gently rock to come into a sitting posture. Take a deep breath in, stretch the neck to the right. On to the other side. Back to the center. Arms raised onto the crown, very gently holding onto the right wrist, right palm facing up, very gently using the left arm to pull it onto the left side, opening up the right shoulder blades from the back to the front, front to the back, embodying the flow. As I say, body cannot fabricate stories. Sensation is the immediate truth. And we are guided back into the most reliable witness. Back into the center. And relax the palms. Arms relax. And when you're ready, take another deep breath in. Arms raise onto the ground. This time, left palm facing up, holding onto the left wrist, opening up that armpit, and very gently switch it towards the right. Couple of more breaths. Breath out and relax. Just a micro movement inquiry at the moment. Observe how the jaw sits. Is it softened? Observe how the tongue can be also relaxed. Observe the belly loosening, pelvic floor up gripping. Very gently come into that pelvic floor ungripping. Start gripping. Start locking your hips. Now take a deep breath in and keep one palm on the chest, one on the belly. So let's say you're keeping the left on the chest and the right on the belly. Observe, very gently bring that chest and observe the pressure narratives on there. Observe that you're breathing gently, or a light or imagination into the space of the belly can release the unpredictable fetus. Yes, that we are having all these unpredictable future fears are stored in there. So this space where unsaid truths, joy, suppressed actions, keep stores the survival reflex. Just observe. Observe is enough. Very gently coming back, relax. Palms very gently raise onto the crown, palms onto the namaskar position. Shoulders relax and chest open. Take a moment. Let the body be the heavier than the thoughts. Let that presence outweigh the prediction. Very gently observing one real sensation, allow that safe entry. Observing the breath, listening to that body, sensation speak the truth. Unburdening, release the held weight without force. And your re-entering of lightness, sensation has become larger than a thought. That's what you call presence. When you come into that realization, relax the arms raise onto the crown, palms onto the namaskar position, and chanting 3 ohms to vibrate that frequency of the om so that we can generate without the story. But it can be a gentle humming to release something that is told, and it doesn't need any force or shaking. Sometimes some visitors leave with a whisper, some visitors leave a mess, some visitors leave when they want to, but you become aware of it. Breathing in. Ooh. 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 Relax the palms, arms raise onto the ground, cleansing the space and the aura and returning to the real and stepping back into the mind, coming into the space of the crown. releasing the tension of the drift. Third eye, loop that pretends to be truth is now, is no longer in authority. Throat, opening up into the present, not into the fabrication of coming into the heart, reliable witness. Temperature of the chest, the movement of the breath in the heart, to shift that imagined thread to lived experience. Solar plexus, rumination with the sensory evidence. It's not escaping, it is recalibrating. Navel, Mulatara. Arms raised onto the crown, cleansing the space and the aura of the first reliable witness that this moment is safe. The realization comes to the namaskar position and allow to witness the mind so it stops performing and the body remembers that you're here and now. Namaste. Touch the earth if you want to touch. Ground yourself. Great to have this practice. So we did that split second of drift to start with. We did the loop that pretends to be the truth. We got the third part of the psychosomatic healing of the body as the first reliable witness. Fourth part was re-entering into the immediate scene of the present moment. So this class was relevant to all of us collectively, so that we come into that space of the present. So very gently today, instead of disturbing that frequency, try to stay in that frequency. It is something that you need to rest, and please do rest. If you need to have a water fast, then do the water fast until you get hungry, and then listen to the body, and then you can start with gentle something or go for a walk. If your sensation of the light is too much for you, then you relax from the light, because sometimes when you do healing, your senses become very kind of too overwhelming. So whatever you're doing, it is very important for you to be gentle with it. And remember, the other thing is you're not doing the practice to fix anything. You're doing the practice to remind yourself that I am not these thoughts and emotions. I have a reliable soul that is the sensory perception of how I sense things, how I sense my heart, how I sense my breath, how I sense my feet is grounding, how I sense things. Because sometimes the first thing that go out of the sensory perception is when the thought and that it goes on that split second of the breath and it goes and run on a loop. And the mind will attract to support that loop. It's not against you. It just thinks that you likes it, so it gives you. It's the same thing if I say to around the house about I need to buy this thing. I had 101 advertisements coming to support it, and people are talking about it. So we are in a world that whatever we project to our visuals, what we project to our saying, what we project that, it will recreate that illusion to become delusional on certain things. So It's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just you need to know the mechanism of your mind to so that you're in a safe place. It's like before getting into a car, you will check from the dashboard whether which lights are red today, which light need petrol, oil. It's the same thing. You become the awareness of it, and then you know this is how if I can't get into that quickly, this is how far I can drive. After that, I can't. It's the same thing with bodies. Body is a vehicle, but it has more reality than a dashboard. But the witness part is the part has most power because you're not the passenger, you're not the driver. You witness everything, so you can even witness the whole process of the mind, body, breath, whatever you want to talk. So saying that, I love you all. There's Rebecca and Maria and Sage, Matt and Sylvia, Alice. I'm Liana. So good to see you. Love you all very, very much, and I love you all. Take care.